everyone, and welcome to the Bassmasters. I'm Fishburne with my good friend and co-host, Shaw Grigsby. Today, the tournament trail takes us to beautiful Bainbridge, Georgia, and Lake Seminole. Shaw, if you would, tell the viewers a little bit about this wonderful lake.
Well, Lake Seminole is a rather large lake. It's 37,500 acres. Now, it's nestled right in the corner between Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. And it combines the Flint and the Chattahoochee River. Now, we're launching on the Flint River, which is way up in Bainbridge, Georgia, and it's about a 20-minute run down to the main lake, which will really play into the fishing this week.
Well, it's springtime and the fish are moving shallow, and I don't know if I can say this on television, but they're spawning.
Well, I don't know about the spawning, but it is late February. It's perfect time. It's spawn, pre-spawn, post-spawn. It's all happening at one time. Water temperatures in the upper 60s, air temperatures close to 80. Low water is beautiful. This lake is ready to explode.
Well, Shaw, let me tell you something else I heard this week. Stump talk.
Oh,
what is it?
This lake has 12,000 acres of stumps, which are great for fishing, but they're awful tough on the boats. And we have to be extremely careful because of the low water conditions, so that could really damage some boats. You know, day one produced some nice stringers. Now, Jack Wade out of Knoxville, Tennessee took big fish honors on day one with a 7-pound, 11-ounce bass. I'm starting to think this is Seminole of old.
Well, Shaw, you're fishing all of the Bassmaster Top 150 events, 7 in all on the way to the Bassmasters Classic. How are you doing after day one?
Well, I was tied for 10th with Mickey Bruce of Beaufort, Georgia. Now, that was a pretty good stringer, 17 pounds, 2 ounces, just to be in 10th place. Those are great stringers caught. Bud Pruitt, he was fishing grass with rattle traps and then going sight fishing. Just look at the weights on the leaderboard.
Bud Pruitt with 21 pounds, 1 ounce. Kyle Green with 19 pounds, 14 ounces. Followed by Carol Haygood, Randy Howell, Ray Sedgwick, Pete Glusick, Alton Jones, Timmy Horton, Mickey Bruce, and Shaw Grigsby.
We'll be right back with action from day 2 on Lake Seminole.
The Bassmasters is brought to you by Pennzoil, Plano, Kmart, Berkeley, Ranger, and Mercury.
Welcome back to the Bassmasters Georgia Top 150. Now, Shaw, something strange this week. We had some of the superstars, the big guns, the heavy hitters, Rick Clunn, Kevin Van Dam, Denny Brower. They didn't do that well on day one. What's going on out there?
Well, Fish, you know, the Seminole's a tough lake. You've got all these stumps that can cause mechanical problems. You have all kinds of things that can go on. The conditions don't suit all the anglers. Some anglers, however, did quite well on day one.
And you know, when I was interviewing these guys at the weigh-in, I would talk to them, trying to get the nitty-gritty, the inside on what's going on. They wouldn't give me any information. Skeet, that usually means when you bring them in like that, that you're on a substantial pattern.
Yeah, right.
All right. Anything you can tell me?
No, I just, it's probably going to get a little slower for me.
Can you give us the specific spot where you're fishing?
Nope.
Okay, didn't think so. So is it safe to say that sight fishing is the ticket in this tournament?
In a tournament like this, the bedding areas are pretty obvious and the boats are all over them. It's hard to adjust if your area starts getting weak. You move on somebody else's fish, so that makes it hard to make any kind of adjustment. These guys have ran around for 3 days or a week before this tournament looking at beds all over this lake, and there's not hardly a bed that hadn't been looked at.
Shaw, if I'm not mistaken, the guy behind you, Dave Mansue from New Jersey, has just caught a fish, and you guys are in casting distance of each other.
Actually, Fish, our boats are real close. Now, Dave was there the first day and did a great job. And a wonderful guy, gave me my space. He just, I can't say enough about him. And we're just working these stumps, and the fish were sitting basically right at the base of the stumps and working them hard. Here you can see I'm using one of those new Response spinning reels and bringing in a very nice fish.
Now, what's the deal in the back of the boat? You got the amateur net in your fish. Do you always do that?
Yes, as much as possible. I've got this new net that is just incredible. It's got a handle. He hadn't quite figured out how to use it, but it's a great net.
Cool. Look at the size of that fish. That's a 4-pound, 5-pound fish.
Now, Bud Pruitt, oh, what a great angler. He's got a neat pattern going. In the morning, he starts out, and he's throwing a rattle trap, just like the one you're looking here on the screen. He's throwing this thing in the morning because the light levels are so low you can't sight fish much. But then, you know, after he catches a few and he lands a few of these fish out here in the grass, because he's working this rattle trap over the top of the grass, then he'll switch up to sight fishing.
Shaw, how do you determine what color to throw in that water? He's throwing chartreuse with a green bass.
Well, you know, fish, it's just whatever works, because I've swapped it around a number of different colors. But here you can see he's starting to sight fish. And,
Oh, he knocked him off right at the boat, slammed him into the side. His partner wasn't there with the net.
a little impatient. He should have had his partner there with the net, taking his time. But, you know, ooh, he's got another nice one there. You never know if that's going to hurt him.
Oh, he hit the side of the boat there again. He almost did it twice.
Now, here's one, and this is tough about sight fishing in the springtime. Fish don't always eat the bait, so they're wanting to hit it, and so you miss a few of them. You know, they'll pick it up by the tail, or they just blow on it. They do a lot of things to move the bait, and you tend to miss quite a few of them, and sometimes you just hook them very lightly. So that's what you're seeing with Bud. Now, he's working one hard right here.
Now, Shaw, how long do you stay on a bass? What determines the length of time? The size of the fish or the location? What is it?
Well, Fish, you know, just like I do, you're an expert at this, and it's the size of the fish more than anything. If you really need this, oh, he's got him right there. And this is a good fish, and he gets off.
No, he lost another one. That could cost him big time.
Absolutely. But depending on the size of the fish is how much time. If you really need that fish, you're going to spend a lot of time on it. If it's 6, 7, 8 pounder, it may be the one that you're going to stay forever on.
And here he's got the, that looks like a good one right there, Shaw, in the same location, if I'm not mistaken.
That is a nice fish.
Partner's got him. There's a good fish.
That's going to give him a good string there.
Let's see how it goes at the weigh-in after day 2. You realize what this is going to do?
I hope move me up.
This is going to move him. Watch his weight, 17 pounds, 7 ounces. Horton with 5 big bass, 14 pounds and 9 ounces, 14.90. And watch his weight, 18 pounds even. 18 pounds, Gary Klein. Watch his weight today. Grigsby, 17 pounds, 13 ounces, 17-13. Shaw, you did it again. Let's check out the leaderboard. Shaw, I'm a Superhero Grigsby moves into the first spot. He is, of course, followed by Bud Pruitt, Todd Fairclough, Timmy Horton, and then Gary Klein. Now it's time to pay tribute to the amateur anglers who fish from the back of the boat. How old are you, Justin?
16.
16 years old. How about that? The youngest man in the event so far. And who'd you fish with?
Jimmy Houston.
What's it like fishing with Jimmy Houston?
He don't leave you with nothing.
You just basically stared at his rear end most of the day?
All day.
Fish, I remember my first tournament of my life. It was when I was 16 years old, and it was on Lake Seminole. And I can tell you, it is really tough fishing behind a great angler, especially these guys in the top 150. So, Justin, my hat's off to you.
Well, Justin, great job again, but I'll be keeping my hat on.
Now it's time for the answer line. This question comes from Kevin Gobert from Luling, Louisiana. Now, Kevin's question is, sight fishing is a tournament-winning technique. Please tell me the basics of this style of fishing.
Well, speaking from experience, I love sight fishing. Shaw, it's one of the most fun techniques there are, and it's because you're stalking the fish. He's swimming around, you're looking for him, but you got to have a really good pair of polarized sunglasses.
Absolutely, Fish. And one of the most important things with the polarized sunglasses is to have a pair that has like amber lenses, yellow lenses, or brown lenses. That gives you better detail where you can see the fish. Now, in the springtime, I do a lot of big bait fishing. I'm using worms and lizards, and therefore I really like this new Acris reel from Quantum. It's a bait caster, powerful, strong, but you gotta have a variety of baits to catch them. Sometimes it's a little bait that catches the fish.
And these little bitty baits, like a tube jig or possibly a small 4-inch worm or lizard, that's when you incorporate the spinning tackle. And it's simply because on spinning tackle, you can use lighter line. You can use the 6, 8, 10, even 12-pound line and get away with it.
Absolutely. Now, when we're looking for fish, what we're doing is we're sight fishing, going around, trolling mode around, looking, and you're looking for any type of shadow, fin movement, tail movement. In the springtime, sometimes it's the glow or the shine of a bed. But remember, in the springtime, what's the most important thing?
Catch and release. We got to take care of these bass, the brood stock, the big fish, the females. We got to release them alive and take really good care of them. Be gentle. You know, if you want to have a question and incorporate it in our show, all you got to do is jot it down on a piece of paper.
Include your name, address, and phone number. All letters, whether we use your question or not, go into a drawing for an all-expenses-paid trip to the 2001 Bassmasters Classic, and that's courtesy of BASS.
We'll move on to day 3 on Lake Seminole and find out which of these anglers has what it takes to win right after this. Welcome back to the Bassmasters, day 3 on Lake Seminole. We caught up with Timmy Horton, who's racking up those Angler of the Year points.
I had this happen on a 4-pounder yesterday. I had to let it go. The fish aren't taking it good. They're just biting the head. And when I'm setting the hook, it's causing them to hook them outside the mouth. And by BASS rules, we can't weigh them in if they're not hooked inside the mouth. So on bedding fish, on fish we visually can see. So I'm gonna try to come back tomorrow. If I make the cut and catch him, I think I can get him again.
You know, that shows his great character. I've had that happen also, and it's really tough to have to let go of big fish that you know you saw him bite it and he didn't get hooked there. So that's kind of tough. Now, we caught up with Jim Murray, Jr., who lives right there in Cordele, Georgia, not very far away, and he is one tough angler.
I rather use bait casting equipment when I'm sight fishing just because I got better control of the fish. But a lot of times the fish is real spooky. You need a spinning outfit.
A drop in water level proved to be a real lucky deal for Mike Worm. Listen to this fish story.
Let me tell you where this one came from. Now, I got my partner will verify this. We were going down through here, flipping some stumps and whatever, and here's a big old stump about as big as this podium. I looked over in it, and it had water in it. So I looked over there, and I flipped my lure down in there, and about halfway down, and went boom, and that's where that fish came from.
He living in a stump.
He was in a stump, high and dry. He'd been in there for 4 days. He must have been starving to death.
So we go to the weigh-in on day 3, and with all the hype about sight fishing, what happens?
Are you talking about Peter Tlaveras?
Peter T, yes I am, one of the top anglers who's not sight fishing. And Shaw, he brings in a 5-fish limit that weighs 24 pounds and 5 ounces.
What an incredible stringer. You know, when I saw Pete's stringer, I got to figure out, hey, did all these big fish move out and they've left the banks? You know, we've passed the moon phase. So, I mean, there's so many things going through my mind. Little wind, who knows what can happen tomorrow.
We saw some fine catches on day 3. Amateur champion Mike Random wins with 27 pounds and 10 ounces. But as day 3 ends, the amateurs are out. We're down to the top 10. And guess who's leading? Shaw Grigsby with 53 pounds. He's followed by Jim Murray Jr., Bud Pruitt, Bernie Schultz, and Peter Tlaveras.
Rounding out the top 10 are Ray Sedgwick, Timmy Horton, Aaron Martins from California, Carol Haygood from Florida, and Ken Cook from Oklahoma.
We'll be back with day 4 action right after this.
The Bassmasters is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops, Kumo, Chevy, Motor Guide, and BASS.
Welcome back to the Bassmasters. It's time for the final round.
The only chance of catching Shaw in this tournament is to have another big stringer like that. And I don't think the sight fishermen are going to be able to do that today. What I've been doing to catch some of the fish all through the week has been what's called a wacky worm. And it's really kind of a wacky rig. It's basically a zoom trick worm hooked through the egg sac with an exposed hook. Throw it out by these stumps, these shallow water areas, and these on the flats, and just kind of twitch it until one gets it. And I've managed to catch 2 or 3 fish a day doing it the last couple of days.
Now here's Bernie Schultz. He's been Texas rigging a lizard around these bedding fish, and he has got a grand one, right? That is a beautiful big old fish. He keeps that up, he may charge all the way up.
That fish was sitting in the bed a certain angle, and basically I put the bait behind her and pulled it by her, and she was locked down really solid. And when I got it just at the right spot, I popped it, and she reacted to it, and just involuntarily she took it in. And, you know, sometimes that's what it takes. Every fish is different. Hopefully I'll catch 4 more like it and have a shot today.
When you sight fishing like this in real windy conditions, you can get up on the fish a lot closer than if it's real calm. This fish here, she's bedding probably 4 feet or so, and it's real tough to see her. I just look for a little dark spot moving in the sand.
What an awesome fisherman this guy is.
Oh, here he goes. Grigsby at the bat again. Swinging.
Don't even have my
That's a good fish, though, Shaw. What are you doing right here?
Well, I'm just swimming a worm. This was early in the morning. I didn't have an opportunity to sight fish right then, and so they're just out there cruising on these little sandbars. So I'm just swimming a worm, and little guys, not very big. The fish were just, you know, 1.5, 2 pounders, and I knew I needed a little better than that to do well in this tournament.
Are more fish moving in as the sun gets up and the temperatures rise?
I don't know that more fish are moving in, but you can definitely see the ones that are there.
Golly.
And of course, this handle is awesome on this net. It's just amazing. Joel Hodgins made this thing 4 fishing by yourself, which is what we have to do on the final day.
Now you're back there with spinning tackle, so what's going on?
Well, I switched to the response reel, small bait, little ringworm, and as you can see, it's paying off with some nice fish. That's a 3-pounder right there.
Ooh, and what color worms are you throwing, Shaw? Does it matter?
It really doesn't matter. I used a variety of baits. Now here again, I'm with that little ringworm, but I caught a number of fish on the ringworm, a number on the worm, the regular 8-inch Lucky Strike Enforcer worm, and a number on the lizard. And they were all rigged, Texas rig with the mega weight and, of course, the high-performance hook. And I know when I hook one on that high-performance hook by Eagle Claw, that fish is coming in the boat.
You skied this one in, and you brought half the grass with it.
Look at the size of that fish,
I had a 4-pound lead. I got 15 in the box. That means they're going to have 19 to take it. I need to catch. If I can get rid of those 2 other small ones with 3 to 4 pounders, I'll be a happy man. I'm already a happy man. I tell you, this is awesome.
Now, this was tough. Seconds to go, literally. I'm down to maybe a minute or 2 before I have to get out of there. And I've got a long idle across these stump fields, and I've got a big fish sitting there. Now, fish, I didn't know how big he was, maybe 3 to 5 pounds, but I knew if I caught him, it was going to make it awful hard for anybody to beat me. I've switched over to my bait casting reel using heavier line. That's 20-pound test, using that little mega weight that, oh, there he is, he bit. And this is a good fish. And all I'm trying to do is get him in as fast as I can, so I don't even grab the handle that gives me all the leverage with this net, and I miss the fish. So as soon as I get a hold of the handle, watch this.
Get the handle of this
Now
net.
it's locked in, you can net him, and up he comes.
Thank you, Lord. Woo! That's 100 grand right there, buddy. Look at the size of this fish, and we gotta go. I gotta let go of that little one. I can't even weigh it. We gotta go. We gotta go. Yellow. Gotta throw the yellow one out. Oh man, we're gonna run late. Where's yellow? Doggone it, get my hand, get everything. Thank you, Lord Jesus. That's pretty cool when you let go a 3-pounder and you're gone. You gotta go. Thank you, Lord. Goodness gracious. Whatever we can do there. Kill switch might help, man. You don't think I'm flustered? Now we gotta watch for the stobs. Woo! Now you can't help me fish, but you can make sure I don't drill my boat and sink it on the stob, so I'll let you. Yes!
I'm so excited about catching that big fish, and I pull up to weigh in, and I get even more excited. Timmy Horton and his wife just had their first child, an 8-pound, 4-ounce baby girl.
Well, congratulations to the Hortons. And before we name our champion, let's go to the Kumho Tire Pro Pointer.
The fish here this week were very spooky. I had to stay a long way from the fish, make extremely long casts with a 7-foot St. Croix spinning rod, medium action, something with a limber tip. That limber tip allows you to really project the bait out there. It gives you the good whip action, keeps the bait low to the water. The light line, the fish can't see it near as well in the clear water. I don't mind the light line fishing around grass, because you set the hook on the fish around thick grass. Just keep steady pressure on the fish. The fish will get bottled up in the grass. They'll just all of a sudden just quit even fighting, and you just go over there and get the fish.
Here we go. It's time to weigh them in and see who takes all the big money at the Georgia Top 150.
Weight 114, 114. Pete, you want to hold him up for the camera because he looks really small when you hold him up. But let's watch his weight first. Watch it. 15 pounds, 4 ounces, 15.4, Timmy. 15 pounds, 6 ounces. He's done it. Weight 15 pounds. You did it. Reach in there, boy. Woo! That's it. Look at that. He had 53 pounds and 2 ounces coming into the day. Let's put him up there. What does he need? He needs 10-13. Boom, he won! 20 pounds and 12 ounces. 20 pounds and 12 ounces for Grigsby. Folks, a round of applause. Here's your champion, Shaw Grigsby.
You see this? This is hair. See this? That's no hair.
Let's take a look at the final standings. Uh-oh, he wins again. Shaw Grigsby in first place. That's a back-to-back top 150 victory. It's followed by Jim Murray Jr. in the second spot, Bud Pruitt, Timmy Horton, Aaron Martin, Bernie Schultz, Ray Sedgwick, who won here last time we fished Seminole, Peter T., who fell to 8th with just one fish on day 4, and of course, Carol Haygood, Ken Cook round out the top 10. Shaw, working with you is really getting embarrassing.
I can't help it if I'm catching fish.
It's not the money in the boat, Shaw. It's the hair. You de-hatted me, and you showed the big shiny baldness.
For the Bassmasters, I'm Shaw Grigsby.
Wait a minute, that's my job, and I'm Fishburne wishing you good luck and good fishing.
So long gives you time to get the bait fully in his mouth. You set the hook, then you got it.
Did you just burp?
Yeah.
Okay. I could have swore he burped. He did one of those like that. You look like a bass fitting the bait out.
Since you became the host in this show, you've...